Unlike so many of its German luxury SUV competition, the 2022 Lexus RX actually rides comfortably. This might sound absurd, but it isn't. An emerging trend of the luxury SUV market is that optional adaptive or air suspensions are usually required to make a vehicle ride acceptably. With the Japanese-built Lexus RX, that's not the case. Choose the most affordable specification. The RX300 luxury tested here, and the ride is sublime right out of the box. A swath of recent suspension modifications prepared for the RX's subtle midlife facelift have also made this large SUV handle better, but this Luxo barge is mainly about co-setting its occupants. Nothing wrong with that. Not every SUV on the road has to be tuned to feel like a sports car. A good chunk of buyers in this aspirational segment are looking more closely for soft, supportive seats, superb interior quality, and a great ride than Nürburgring-tuned body control. The fourth-generation RX launched in 2015, but a range of small changes have kept the interior feeling reasonably up to date. Most significant was last year's decision to equip the RX with a new 12.3-inch touchscreen, with the display unit moved forward to be more accessible to the front seat occupants. At the same time, wired Apple CarPlay and Android Auto capabilities were added. Those changes were most welcome, as the Lexus infotainment system is fairly clunky and dated. Time breeds familiarity, but plugging in and using your smartphone's OS feels much more natural in this vehicle. The polarizing Lexus Remote Touch trackpad persists between the seats as a secondary control mechanism, though it is worth noting that the smaller Lexus NX, which launches in new second-gen form in early 2022, has ditched the touchpad in favor of a huge new 14-inch touchscreen. Ahead of the driver sit a set of elegant analog dials. The needle and typeface are large enough to identify your speed at a glance, which is helpful as the RX300 luxury lacks a digital speedometer. Higher-grade variants equipped with a heads-up display have the function. The RX300 engine is the most modest of three powertrains available with the Lexus RX. This 2-liter turbocharged petrol is the sole 4-cylinder and sole front driver of the lineup. While it's outranked by the 221 kilowatts, 370 Nm 3.5-liter RX350 V6, and 230 kilowatts RX450 HV6 hybrid engines higher in the range, the RX300 will be enough for most. Unlike the lusty V6 that likes a reverend or the electrified but heavier RX450H, the RX300 produces its 175 kilowatts of power and 350 Nm of torque at lower engine speeds, allowing it to get by on low-end torque nearly all of the time. There is a graininess to the Turbo 4 pop that you don't find in the silkier RX350, but with the remarkably crisp standard 12-speaker stereo turned to moderate volume, you simply don't hear the engine at all. It's a little workmanlike in application that it gets the job done without much by way of complaint or remark at all. And it's a great match for the 6-speed torque converter automatic, which slurs away efficiently in the background, ensuring you're never far from peak torque. About the only weak spot of the RX300 powertrain is its front-wheel drive nature. 350 Nm off the line is enough to chirp the front tires, but little about this car encourages full-throttle starts. It prefers being driven gracefully, but if you have a leadfoot, go one of the V6 options. Like many Lexus vehicles, the RX is available in base luxury, athletic mid-tier F Sport and lush top-spec sports luxury grades.